Danny brought in some audio of a man losing his mind at a Brooklyn post office. He says this is really, really good. Really good. The guy just loses his mind. And anyone that has, waited online or in line.
Drives you batty.
Drives you nuts, doesn't it, Jimmy?
Batty.
Oh, the people, they don't know what to do when they get up to the counter. Oh, it takes forever.
Oh, yeah, I know. Going postal in the post office. Perfect name for it.
Watch out.
Just going postal. Does that mean really slow? Get out of here. Give me those
Get
ribs.
it.
Danny, what do we know about this guy?
Unfortunately, not too much, simply because the clip starts with him in mid-tirade.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what it was that set him off, but, I mean, if you ever spent time in the post office...
I know.
Sure
Whoa, watch out.
Hey, postal.
Can I
Person
say
in front of you has a lot of packages.
Yeah, I know.
She's got to get out for the holidays.
Oh, God. What are you? Who are you? Working for Santa Claus?
Whoa.
Oh, my God.
Shouldn't you let the elves do that? Whoa, hey, whoa.
Take all
Who
these.
am I to say?
How many stamps do you need there? 2 million? I will say, though, the post office and the motor vehicles have both been easier experiences the last times I've gone. They've seemed to, especially motor vehicles, is like, computer updated a lot of it.
Yeah.
Much easier experience. Boring.
All right, let's listen to this guy losing his mind.
Goodbye to you forever, because I have your job. Yeah, same to you, honey. Same to you. Get the manager over here. I want the manager.
Ooh.
Is this real?
He sounds,
Oh, yeah.
This is real?
Oh, yeah.
Is there video of it?
Yeah, there is.
Is it just a person trying to make their YouTube video? I'm
No,
very
I don't think
suspicious.
so,
I'm one of these
'cause-
very suspicious guys right now.
I have seen this clip in the past. It just kind of resurfaced
Yeah.
the past couple of days, but I've seen this before. It's totally real. You can tell by the video. This isn't...
And what? This guy started losing his mind and someone, turned on their cell phone or whatever?
Yeah, I guess he had started to lose his mind, and that's how the video kind of came about, because I guess the guy saw what was going on and just got a cell phone, started recording, so that's why it kind of starts right in the middle.
Right.
But, yeah, it's totally real. I mean, cops do show up at the end of this clip, so...
You don't try to make a YouTube video in a federal building like this. Like this, you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to like act wacky, you do it like in a Walmart.
Yeah.
You probably don't do it in a government building like a post office.
All right.
Manager. See how long you have your job, sweetie. Who the hell do you think you are?
Who the hell do you think you are?
I'm the customer. That's who the hell I am.
And so
You know, and so we'll see when your job comes up for review.
it's Don Wickland.
That's your job. That's your job, sweetie. That's your job.
I love this dude.
This guy is an ass.
He's the greatest. Smug employee. Good for you, pal.
We all like to think we get somebody fired, but
can't.
nothing's going to happen. to
Not
this
at
lady.
all.
She's going to take her beating. You're going to move on, and that's that.
That's your job, sweetie. That's your job. Do your job. That's your job. You go to hell first, you bitch. You bitch. Get the manager out here.
Out here!
I want to hire this guy for voiceover work. I want to have him voice track like one of my commercials for a gig. He's the greatest. I want him to say my name. Jim Norton.
Jim Norton, sweetie.
I just love how through the entire video that little bell keeps going off so that they could help the next customer.
Yeah.
What's he look like, Danny?
Well, you could really only see him from the back, but he's, some just balding Jewish gentleman.
He sounded like a Jewish guy, yeah. What?
and we have Canada.
She's not been working much longer. How dare she? Who the hell does she think she is?
Who the hell do you think you are?
I'm the customer, you stupid bitch. Yes.
We need T-shirts made. I'm the customer, stupid bitch.
You stupid bitch.
I would love to know what led up to this, what she did that annoyed him so much.
Yeah.
She didn't have any 3-cent stamps.
Nah, it's probably.
seriously.
I'm going to say it's her fault.
Probably is, yeah. But
These people behind counters, man, they get on these power trips, and every once in a while you get somebody that just, you know what, you lose your mind.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't know from personal experience or anything, but
This
No,
guy
you're
seems
right.
like he could be a little nitpicky, I
This
bet.
guy seems awful, though.
But
Yeah.
there's probably a combination of the two. You put them both together. Like a snake and a mongoose.
You ever wait online at the bank and
Hey, with my tongue and it's
and you linger longer, and that's a linger longer, and you go up to the teller, and then she gives you an attitude because she didn't push the light, turn the light back on, and makes you go back to the front of the line, and then waits a few minutes knowing that she's just effing with you, and then she pushes the light. Has that happened to you? And you want to like reach through that weird, you can't get your hands through a glass thing and choke her out?
Why do they think it's like that? There'd be a bunch of choked out employees behind the counter.
But they actually get pissed if you walk up before they put that light on for the next customer.
Mm-hmm.
That never happens to me because I always have a gun and a note.
Let's go back to this guy. We got a bunch more from him.
Yes, the customer's always right. You were wrong. The customer is always right. You were wrong. You were wrong. You're an ass. You stupid. And the whole generation, you stupid bitch. I want to speak with the man. I have the postmaster on the phone. I want the manager at the door right now. Right now.
Give me one of each.
Give me a manager and I'll calm down. I want the manager. How dare she speak to me? You're not the manager. I'm Mr. Suctio. You're not the manager. Who's the manager now? No, we'll speak.
Oh, she look gay.
Who's the manager? She's the manager. What's her name? I know she's there. I have eyes. Your name, you're the manager? What's your name? I want the manager right now. I have the postmaster's number right here. I want the manager right now. I have the secretary on the phone. I want the manager. How dare she speak to me like that? I'm the customer. We're all the customer. I went to her window. I asked for a manager. I asked to have more clerks come to the window. How dare she speak? Who the hell does she think she is?
Someone is suggesting give it to Steven Jackson from Jersey. It's the Penguin from Batman Returns. That's a good reference right there.
But isn't it amazing, like how? And I've been in this situation too. You really can't say it. Like as I'm saying this, I wish someone would just go, "Shut the F up." And but in that situation, you don't understand. Plus, I don't know what she did to make this guy this angry. But I was in a Rite Aid. And there's a guy in front of me, and I was trying to get my stupid sinus medication, and he's like, and he said, "I'm the customer, and I'm here for your help." And he was he was not this bad, but he looked for it, and I almost said to him, "Shut your mouth." My jaw was shifting, and I didn't because I was afraid it would turn into a fight, and he didn't look like a very threatening guy, but it's like you just punch him in the face.
You're going to be fighting in a drugstore,
I'm 39.
Yeah.
To hit a man for being crazy.
But do you ever say it?
No.
See, my problem is I say it every once in a while.
I'll tell you why.
And then I'm like, oh boy, is this the day I get my teeth knocked
They're
out?
not venting it at me. I'm only annoyed because I have to hear it, but they're really not addressing me. And I could see myself in their shoes probably half the time. And B, it's like, you don't know if someone is genuinely crazy, they're scary. Someone really crazy will just bite you.
I just want to know why whenever I walk up to a counter, whenever I walk up to pay for something, to get a prescription, whatever the case may be, I am there for the absolute minimum amount of time it takes to complete the transaction physically. For me to physically hand something over, to be physically handed something and leave.
Because you're considerate.
When I'm behind somebody, it's this big to-do.
Yeah.
The people in front of me, everything is this big project that just takes forever. There's a problem. This one doesn't have this. And then the women that don't know how to get the F out of the way before you start shoving crap back in your purse and rearranging your goddamn life in your stupid bag. Slide that whore bag over to the side and let me start my business. These old hags.
Yeah, they get their change purse. They got to put that back together. Then
they got to put that.
Then they got to get their wallet back together.
And they're arranging it.
They're arranging everything while you're. It's inconsiderate people. The world's full of them.
Maybe slide over.
Full of them. This guy's being inconsiderate because when you see the video, we'll give out the link in a minute here. There are people now being Steve from Bayshore. But there are people now that have to wait a lot longer because this guy's losing his mind.
But it's amazing how, like, there's a great movie called The Incident, which it's an old movie, 1967, with Martin Sheen. I think it's his first film, and Tony Masanti, about two guys that kind of overtake a subway car. And it's mild compared to what you see today, like where they're taunting each individual person on the subway car. And it's so weird in public how people will not help each other. People have a mob mentality, and they'll attack something horrible because there's a safety in that number. But it's weird how people won't. And I'm not saying this guy should have been tackled because he really wasn't threatening it. He was just yelling. But it's like we don't come to each other's aid until it's absolutely necessary.
Until it's absolutely too late.
But you like on the train, like those all those if there's something happening on a subway or whatever, like nobody will come to anybody's aid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
We just don't. We're really self-centered and distant when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. When somebody's yelling like that in the post office, wherever you are, you'll rarely see someone step up and say, "Hey, keep pipe down."
Well, their emotional level is so far beyond where yours is. There's nothing worse than having to fight some guy who's in a rage when you really are just annoyed because he's yelling.
But there should be like 5 people at least that should be going, hey, you! Why?
This is a very strange conversation.
Shake their fist.
To me.
Well,
I'm one of the guys.
Oh, really?
Not every time, but I definitely one of the guys that pipe up. Absolutely. I can't take it as a human.
It depends on what he's yelling at. It depends on how big he is and whether he looks nuts or not. I wouldn't even yell at a woman for that.
Well, I told a story where I actually got in a fist fight with a cabbie through the little square. Like we were trying to punch each other through the square.
It's impossible. You can't punch each other through that.
He gave it a pretty good shot, and I gave it a pretty good shot. Let's just put it that way. And then I finally got out of the cab, and he got out of the cab, and I was effed. I'll be honest. I'm not going to sit here and be, I'm tough guy with black belts. I was effed. This guy pissed me off. I spoke up. Next thing you know, like I'm telling him to give me the exact change back. He goes, I don't need your money. And then we start like kind of fist fighting through the little square. And now it's time to get out of the cab. And he gets out of the cab. He would have killed me. I'm not going to sit here and make believe he wouldn't. He would have killed me. Another cab driver came by, saw what was going on, slowed down. Everything all right here? And he gave me a look like, next time. And jumped in his cab and got out.
One time,
because now I had a witness, I guess. I don't know why, but he definitely said, all right, I gotta move on from this.
Sometimes you just know, like, Keith Robinson's a good buddy of mine, and Keith, for all of his faults, and he's an awful person, is not a coward. I mean, Keith is an animal. He's just one of those guys who literally will tangle with anybody, which is a fault. And one time he said he was coming through the Holland Tunnel, and he was having a thing with this other guy in this car who was cutting him off or did something he didn't like. So Keith's yelling at him. And he said they went through the tunnel, and the guy, they literally were staring at each other, and the guy rolled down his window, and Keith started yelling. The guy went, "Do you want to have a happy day? Do you want to have a happy day?" And Keith said it chilled him.
Oh, wow.
Because the guy was basically saying, like, if you want to feel good,
just leave. Leave this situation.
And he said it was because, and he's not a guy that's going to be psyched.
That's a good line.
It completely killed him, and he said, "All right, man."
Well,
and
Keith,
kept going.
You got to add, Keith is very street smart from Philly, so
absolutely.
So he knew in the tone that this guy wasn't effing around. Because some people will say stuff like that, but you're like, you call their bluff. But Keith would know the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's from an awful area in Philadelphia, and
needs to be added to the conversation.
Oh yeah, he's been arrested. He always fights the cops. Keith is just a blabbermouth.
He's a problem,
psychopath,
as you like to say.
I'll yell at old people, and I'll yell at women. That's pretty much where I draw the line.
Me too. Even when they don't do anything wrong, just my team loses.
Yeah, I mean, who wasn't thrilled on the train that day? When I just lambasted that old elderly couple that was sitting in the seats in the first class section of the train.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so angry with them. I'm looking around for a seat like it's full, and then the conductor guy comes walking through and he goes, tickets, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir and ma'am, but this is first class car and you don't have first class tickets." So I'm standing there with my first class tickets and going, "Oh, good, I'll have the seat." And the guy goes, "We'll pay the extra to get the seats
upgrade or whatever."
And then the conductor goes, "All right, I'll see what I could do." I go, "Nope, wait a minute. Here's my first class tickets." And I go, "You two can move. Just get up and leave." And they were like looking at me, and I was aggravated because we had almost just missed the train and everything. And I was like, "Get up. leave.
Yeah, it was pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was
And then
kinda
I was the jackass.
kind of weird to see Anthony in that situation.
I'm the bad guy.
But yeah,
I don't yell at people like that. Sometimes I will, because I think if they were 6'5", I try to talk to old people.
Yeah.
Would I do that if they were 6'5"?
uh,
I monitor myself in the car.
oh yeah, we all do. I wouldn't. No, you kind of size up the person you're going to mess with and hope for the best. Hope they don't know a little karate.
Did you ever feel like, I had a cabbie make me so angry. Like, do you ever feel like physically, we all think like, yeah, I could kill somebody. But did you ever think like, if I had a gun, I understand completely that I would murder this person right now. Like, for real. All kidding aside, no banter, nonsense. Like, I know I would shoot this person.
That wouldn't make me feel better. A good punch to the face makes me feel better.
Really?
Fight club mentality.
Point a pistol at a cab driver?
That would,
oh.
really?
Oh,
Hey.
my heart is weeping right now thinking of that. How bad they'd feel. How they'd panic with a pistol pointed at them.
Let's go to cigars and scotch. Cigars.
Hey, have you ever seen the video of that crazy blonde-haired guy punching the token booth? Linger longer.
There's no video.
I'm sure there is some surveillance video they laugh at.
Well, cigars and scotch is definitely bringing up something I talked about in the past, and then someone on Instant Feedback is pointing out that I do get in fights in very strange situations. I did try to go after a Subway guy in the token booth,
In his token booth,
which is
yeah.
like the safest place to be in all of New York City.
Well, they figured out a way to get them.
Yeah, with
the gasoline.
Gasoline stuff.
What a bunch of creative people. Youch. That's how they used to get the token booth people.
Because those guys thought they were safe, and they would give you a lot of crap, and someone figured out you squirt some stuff in there.
Squirt some
throw a
gas
match
in there and throw a match, and they open the door,
Oh, yeah.
come out, and you go in and steal the money. And
Well, I taunted this.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
perfectly scooped to just all splash right into their faces.
Right in, and yeah, there have just been people horribly burned.
Really?
Yeah, it was going on for a little while, but it's being brought up that I get in some weird fight situations. You're right. I try to get the guy in the token booth. I try to get him out, and I start punching the token booth, which just hurt my hand.
Of course.
I had a fight through the cab window, that tiny little square, and yeah, I fought the French guy underwater.
Underwater, yeah.
Yeah, my fights do take place in very strange,
Odd.
odd areas. Hey, a little more from the Brooklyn guy in the post office before we go to break.
I'm filing a report. I'm going to file a report right now on her. She's losing her job. Give me those filing papers right now. I'm having her
Firing
fired.
papers?
I'm going to file a report right now. Right now. She's lost her job. I want those papers right now. Right now. I'm filing a report. How dare you even heard her? How dare she?
How dare you, sir?
I'm the customer. I am speaking in a propaganda. And she's still commenting. Tell her to stop commenting. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Wow.
Commenting. Tell her to stop commenting.
And in the video, you see a guy, he's just trying to get his package mailed. He's ignoring him and trying to get this lady to just take care of him. The video is going postal in Brooklyn on YouTube and other fine video
that the end of it?
websites. It goes on forever. It keeps
It goes
going
on for a little longer, but the police show up, and he's not quite as vocal.
Ah, yeah, see?
Of course not.
Yeah, why would you be?
Of course not.
That was a cell phone, it looks like.
Yeah.
Somebody was very clever and decided to, hey, this is good stuff.
How long ago do you think that happened? You know, for years?
You know, I do remember seeing it probably about a year ago. So it's been around. It's been around for a little while.
Right.
Oh, I would love to bring him into these meetings with like the lawyers and the management and stuff just to argue for me. Why can't he say that? He should be able to say that.
Where are the firing papers? Like there's papers she can hand them.
Right.
Yes.
Like you would hand a gentleman these papers to get you fired. Yes, fill this out, sir, and I will be let go. Just hand them back when you're done.
How much you want to bet later that guy was thinking about this experience while he had sex with his face in a pillow,
Oh, of course. Please.
pushing his hips back angrily?